this heavyweight division can be so annoying. You know, Bob Arum has just come out and said they're now in talks with Usyk possibly fighting Tyson Fury in the Middle East. But he's not sure who Fury's gonna fight next, either White or Usyk. I mean, time is of the essence. Fury wants to fight on March 26. That looks very unlikely at the moment because if they haven't made a deal now, like Eddie Hearn said, they it's going to be difficult for them to promote like a big stadium fight in Cardiff. I just want, I'm just tired of all this back and forth. It's what is expected, but what it's just, we don't know whether we're coming and going with these heavyweights. It's just, I mean, I suspected that Fury was up to something when he just all of a sudden, what was it last week when he just an unprovoked attack against Usyk, calling him a middleweight steroid head. Like, where did that come from? What's Usyk got to do with, and, that's when I thought, I think Fury's up to something. There must be talks behind closed doors with that possibility fight against Fury and Usyk. And with White and obviously AJ having to take step aside money. I don't mind the fight. I like the fight. I'm all for the undisputed fight. I'd rather the undisputed fight than anything else. All these rematch clauses and mandatories are like stopping the undisputed fight from happening. But if the undisputed fight is not happening, then I want AJ to fight Usyk and I want Fury to fight Dylan White. I mean, this 80-20% split, it's ridiculous, but they both kind of need each other. If the undisputed fight doesn't happen, they both kind of need each other. They do. 80-20% is a little bit like a low ball offer for Dylan White. 25%, 30%, if they could get the deal done, then fine. White needs that fight. He really needs to. He should not let that fight go. I really hope that fight happens for him. He should not let that fight go because if this fight doesn't happen now, next, I don't see that fight happening anytime soon after that. Because after Fury, if Fury doesn't fight Dylan White, he'll probably fight Elenius or Manicha. That's what Bob Arum, that was a 2 short list. I mean, Manicha, forget about it, it's rubbish. That shouldn't be acceptable. Elenius punches hard. I mean, and he's like, fighting Kaunaski, beating him twice in a row. He's in a good form at the minute, but the only problem is that Elenius is one of Dylan White's victims. Dylan White is already beating him, so how is that going to look? And Derek Chisora should have got the decision against Elenius. So, but all said and done, all being said, Elenius is still a good. I mean, like I said before, he's got good power, but we need that Dylan White fight, and Dylan White needs to make that fight happen. He needs to make that fight happen because if Fury fights Elenius, for example, the next fight he's going to try and fight the winner of Joshua Usyk. And I know all this, there's talks about, he has to fight this WBC. I'm telling you that for the undisputed fight, the Middle East will throw a lot of money. They will throw a lot of money for that fight. 200 million. I mean, 100 million each for both fighters. 100 million each. That means each sanctioning body will probably stand to make a minimum $1 million of sanctioning fees for that fight. Are you going to tell me the WBC wouldn't get involved? The WBC would franchise Tyson Fury is asked to get that million, to get that payday. They'll do whatever they could, and they'll still dub it the undisputed. Let White fight whoever he wants to fight. Maybe Wilder for the WBC, and just upgrade Tyson Fury for that, because look at that. The WBC president Solomon came out and called Kambosos an undisputed champion. In the same breath, calling Devin Haney a WBC champion. So, he'll say whatever just to get his sanctioning fee. And, Dylan White really needs to just try and avoid that from happening, because if he doesn't get that fight now, I don't see him getting that Fury fight, But we see, but it's all a mess right now. It's all a mess. I just hope they just come to the conclusion. We need to know who's fighting who in May, April, March, whatever is happening. We need to see that fight happening.